A woman will never sit you down and confess, "I just slept with another man." She'll deflect. She'll bury the truth under layers of words and excuses. But here's what most men don't know. Her psychology will betray her. Her body language, her sudden shifts in energy, her behavior, they'll all leave cracks in her mask. You don't catch her by her words. You catch her by her patterns. And once you know the signs, you'll never look at her the same way again. Here are 8 hidden signs that give away a woman who just slept with someone else. Today, let's break down the first 2 because once you understand these, the rest will make chilling sense. Sign 1. Sudden guilt-driven sweetness. First, it feels like a dream. She's kissing you more, holding your hand, laughing at everything you say. She's unusually affectionate, almost too affectionate. Most men mistake this for a deeper connection. But in psychology, this is called compensatory behavior. Here's what's really happening. She feels guilty, and guilt is uncomfortable. To soothe it, she tries to balance the scales by treating you better than usual. She's not loving you more. She's overcompensating for betraying you. Think about it. Yesterday she was distant, scrolling on her phone, half listening when you talked. Today she's cooking your favorite meal, sitting close, telling you she appreciates you. That flip isn't random. It's her guilt leaking through. Women often cheat emotionally before physically. By the time she gives her body to another man, she's already conflicted. Afterward, that conflict intensifies. Her way of coping? Smothering you with affection so you won't suspect a thing. But here's the catch. The sweetness feels off. It doesn't feel organic. It feels like she's performing, like she's trying too hard. Pay attention to timing. If her extra affection shows up suddenly after unexplained absences, late nights, or sketchy behavior, it's not random kindness. It's guilt dressed as love. Psychologists call this cognitive dissonance. The clash between her self-image as a good girlfriend or wife, and the reality of what she did. To reconcile that, she convinces herself, if I treat him well, it cancels out the betrayal. But no amount of hugs or kisses erases the truth. So when she suddenly turns into the sweetest version of herself, don't get lost in the sugar. Ask yourself, what is she trying to cover? Because sometimes, the woman who kisses you hardest is the same woman who just kissed someone else. Sign 2. Avoiding eye contact. A woman in love can't help but stare at you. Her eyes linger. Her gaze softens. Her body relaxes when yours meets hers. But after she's been with someone else, her eyes tell a different story. She'll look at you, but only briefly. Her gaze darts away too fast, almost like she's afraid you'll see the truth hiding inside her. She avoids long eye contact because deep down she knows her eyes will betray her. This isn't just poetic. It's biological. Eye contact triggers intimacy. It creates vulnerability. And when she's guilty, intimacy feels dangerous. Looking at you too long feels like confessing without words. So instead she breaks the gaze. Notice the patterns. You ask her how her day was, she looks at her phone while answering. You try to catch her eyes during dinner, she glances at the plate instead. Even during intimacy, she may close her eyes more often or avoid your stare. It's not shyness. There's also the opposite extreme, forced eye contact. Sometimes guilty women will overcompensate by staring too much, almost like they're rehearsing honesty. But the stare feels cold, rehearsed, unnatural. Instead of warmth, you'll feel distance. Psychologically, guilt alters body language. Studies show liars blink more, fidget more, and avoid steady gazes. Women are especially sensitive to being seen. If she's just betrayed you, she knows her eyes might expose her. And so she hides them. The tragedy? Many men overlook this. They assume she's tired, stressed, or distracted. But distraction has a rhythm. Guilt has a different texture. It's jittery, avoidant, restless. Her eyes will flicker like she's guarding a secret. So pay attention. If the woman who once looked at you like you were her world now struggles to hold your gaze, it may not be your imagination. Her eyes might already belong to someone else. Sign 3. Her phone becomes a fortress. A woman's relationship with her phone tells you everything. Before, she might casually leave it on the table, screen up, unlocked. She'd text freely in front of you, answer calls without hesitation. But after she slept with someone else, that all changes. Her phone becomes her shield. Suddenly, it's always face down, always locked, always on silent. He takes it with her everywhere. Bathroom, kitchen, even stepping outside for a minute. And if you so much as reach for it, she reacts with instant defensiveness. Why? Because the phone carries the evidence. The messages, the late-night calls, the sudden good morning text from a name she swears is just a friend. She knows that one glance could shatter everything, so she guards it like a soldier in enemy territory. Psychologically, guilt creates paranoia. She assumes you'll discover what she's hiding, so she overprotects the source. Even if she deleted the evidence, she fears traces, notifications, unsaved numbers, unexplained gaps. Her phone stops being a tool and becomes a ticking time bomb. Here's the trick. It's not just about what she hides. It's about how her behavior changes. If she was always private with her phone, that's one thing. But if she suddenly shifts from casual to secretive, that's a red flag. Men often rationalize this. She just values her privacy. But ask yourself, privacy or secrecy? Privacy is consistent. Secrecy shows up only when there's something to hide. So when her phone transforms from a device into a fortress, it's not just coincidence. It's psychology whispering the truth she won't say out loud. Sign 4. A shift in intimacy. Intimacy is the mirror of truth in a relationship. It's not just about sex. It's about how she touches you, how she kisses you, how her energy flows when you're close. And after she's been with another man, that energy shifts. Sometimes it disappears altogether. She avoids sex, claiming she's tired, stressed, or not in the mood. Her kisses feel lighter, quicker, less invested. Her hugs lose warmth. It's as if her body remembers the other man's touch, and offering herself to you feels like betrayal layered on betrayal. Other times it swings the opposite way. She becomes unusually passionate, almost too eager in bed. Why? Because she's trying to cover her tracks by giving you more intimacy. She hopes you'll never suspect she gave it to someone else. But if you pay attention, it feels different. The energy is off. Her passion doesn't come from desire. It comes from guilt. Psychology explains this as behavioral displacement. When people feel guilty, they either withdraw or overcompensate. In intimacy, that means either avoiding closeness or forcing it to disguise what happened. Men often sense this instinctively. They notice the kisses don't feel the same, or that sex feels mechanical, hollow, rushed. But instead of trusting their gut, they silence it, telling themselves, "I'm overthinking." But you're not. Her body speaks the truth her mouth will never admit. If her intimacy suddenly changes, either vanishes or becomes oddly exaggerated, that's not random. It's her psychology trying and failing to hide the fact that she's already given herself to someone else. Sign 5. Emotional distance wrapped in excuses. One of the clearest signs is also the hardest to face. Her emotions start to retreat. She's there physically, but her presence feels absent. Conversations feel lighter, shorter. The spark in her voice dims when she talks to you. She seems distracted, always busy, always tired, always somewhere else in her head. This isn't just stress. This is emotional displacement. When a woman has just slept with another man, part of her emotional energy shifts toward him. She might not even realize it consciously, but psychology shows that physical intimacy strengthens emotional bonds, even if it's casual. Oxytocin, dopamine, all those chemicals tie her to the experience, and that leaves less of her for you. How does it show up? She no longer laughs as hard at your jokes. She doesn't ask about your day with the same curiosity. She scrolls on her phone during moments she used to give you her full attention. And when you ask her if something's wrong, she brushes it off with excuses. "I'm just stressed. I'm tired. It's work." But here's the truth. Stress doesn't erase intimacy. Guilt does. And guilt breeds distance. You'll notice it in small moments. She used to reach for your hand automatically. Now she forgets. She used to tell you stories in detail. Now her answers are one-liners. She used to light up when you walked in the room. Now her eyes don't linger as long. Most men ignore this because they don't want it to be true. They gaslight themselves. She's just busy. She's just going through a phase. But deep down, you know, emotional distance isn't random. It's the shadow of someone else's presence in her life. When her warmth cools and her excuses pile up, it may not be stress, work, or mood. It may be that she's already given her energy to another man. Sign 6. Defensiveness over innocent questions. Another powerful giveaway, her defensiveness. You ask a simple, harmless question, "Where were you?" or "Who were you with?" And suddenly she snaps. Her tone sharpens. Her body stiffens. She gets angry, accusing you of not trusting her. That overreaction isn't random. It's psychology. When someone feels guilty, even innocent questions sound like accusations. She knows what she did. She knows what she's hiding. So even your curiosity threatens her secret. Notice the difference. A woman with nothing to hide answers simply, "I was with Sarah," or "I grabbed dinner." That's all. But a guilty woman? She dodges, over-explains, or flips the blame. She might say things like, "Why are you interrogating me? Do you think I'd lie to you? You're being paranoid." Her defensiveness isn't about your question. It's about her conscience. Psychologists call this projection and deflection. She projects her guilt onto you, making you feel like the villain. She deflects attention away from her actions by attacking your character. You're insecure. You're controlling. You don't trust me. But here's the secret. The louder she gets, the more she's hiding. Truth doesn't need defensiveness. Lies do. You'll also notice timing. If her defensiveness shows up after late nights out, sudden changes in routine, or unexplained absences, the pattern is clear. She's not angry because of your question. She's angry because your question is dangerously close to the truth. So don't get lost in her outrage. Look beneath it. Because sometimes her anger is nothing more than fear wearing a mask. Fear that you've already started to see what she's trying to hide. Sign 7. Subtle changes in appearance and routine. When a woman has just been with another man, her body remembers, and often she tries to disguise it. You'll notice subtle but telling changes in her appearance and habits. Maybe she showers more often than usual, even late at night. Maybe she changes her underwear right before bed, or suddenly insists on sleeping in new clothes. Maybe her hair smells like shampoo when she hasn't left the house all day. These aren't coincidences. They're cover-ups. Psychology calls this behavioral concealment. When guilt sets in, people instinctively try to erase traces of their actions. She's not just cleaning herself. She's scrubbing away evidence. But it's not only hygiene. Look at her routine. A woman who's been unfaithful often shifts her schedule slightly. She takes longer to run errands. She comes home later from work. She starts going out at odd times, offering vague explanations. It's not the big changes you should look for, it's the small ones. Even her appearance might alter. Maybe she dresses up more for casual outings. Maybe she puts on extra perfume, saying it's just because. Maybe she suddenly cares more about her looks when she's supposedly going to a quick meetup with friends. These are signals. Not proof on their own, but patterns that stack up. And here's the irony. The more she tries to look normal, the more abnormal she seems. Her behavior becomes slightly too polished. Her excuses slightly too rehearsed. Deep down, she knows she's leaving crumbs. And your job is to notice the trail. Remember, love blinds, but psychology reveals. If her appearance and routine suddenly shift, ask yourself, is she refreshing herself for me or covering her tracks for someone else? Sign 8. The energy shift you can't explain. Sometimes it's not about words or actions. It's about energy. A woman who's just slept with another man carries it with her. You feel it in her presence. The warmth feels different. The vibe is off. She's physically there but emotionally somewhere else. You'll notice her energy shift in small but piercing ways. The way she hugs you, it's lighter, less invested. The way she answers questions, it's shorter, colder. Even her silence feels heavier. Something in her aura has changed. And you can feel it even if you can't explain why. This isn't paranoia. It's psychology. After sex, a woman's brain floods with bonding chemicals like oxytocin. That's why intimacy often strengthens connection. But if she's just been with someone else, that chemical bond isn't with you, it's with him. And you'll feel that distance even if she tries to hide it. Some men describe it like this: she felt like a stranger overnight. Or, it was like she was in the room but not with me. That's the energy shift. Her body can fake affection, but her spirit carries the weight of betrayal. She may try to overcompensate, smiling more, laughing louder, touching you extra. But something will feel off. Her laughter won't sound the same. Her kisses won't linger. Her touch won't sink into you like before. And deep down you'll know. This is the hardest sign to accept because it can't be measured. It's not about evidence. It's about intuition. But men who ignore this gut feeling often regret it. Because your instincts pick up on what her psychology is leaking, that she's already given herself to someone else. The tragedy? Most men miss it. Not because they can't see, but because they don't want to. They silence their gut, ignore the signals, and tell themselves stories, until the truth explodes in their face. But you're not most men. You now know the signs. And once you see them, you can never unsee them. So the question is, will you keep pretending? Or will you face the truth head on? If you want more raw, unfiltered psychology like this, the kind women pray you'll never figure out, hit that subscribe button right now. And comment the word truth below if you've ever felt these signs in your gut. Because once you recognize them, you'll never be blind again.